The rain hammered the windshield like fists of judgment as Aiden gripped the steering wheel, his knuckles white against the leather. "I can't do this anymore. Lucas," he spat, voice cracking over the roar of the storm, eyes fixed on the blurred taillights ahead. In that split second, the world tilted. A semi-truck hydroplaned into their lane, metal screeching like a death scream, and Aiden's last coherent thought was of the man beside him, the one secret he'd buried deeper than his own soul. Aiden Harper had always been a man who built walls higher than the Manhattan skyline. At 35, he was the golden boy of Harper and Associates, a boutique law firm in Midtown that specialized in high-stakes corporate mergers. His corner office overlooked Bryant Park, where tourists snapped selfies under the evergreens while he closed deals worth millions. Colleagues called him the closer, cool, calculated, unflappable. But beneath the tailored Brooks Brothers suits and the easy Midwestern charm he'd polished to a shine after moving to New York a decade ago, Aiden was a fortress of unspoken fears. It started in college, back in Ohio, where the air smelled of cornfields and quiet bigotry. Aiden's father, a stern factory foreman with a Bible on the nightstand and a handshake like iron, had raised him to be a real man. When Aiden came out at 20, fumbling the words in the dim light of the family kitchen, his dad had just stared, then walked out to the garage and didn't come back until dawn. "You're my son," he'd said finally, voice gravelly with unspoken pain. "But this stays between us. For your own good." Aiden learned the lesson young. Love like his was a liability, a crack in the armor that could shatter everything. That's why, for 8 years, Lucas Rivera had been his ghost. Lucas, with his infectious laugh that could light up a blackout and hands that knew every scar on Aiden's body, had pulled him from the abyss. They'd met at a dive bar in Brooklyn, Aiden drowning in whiskey after a brutal breakup with a closeted exec who'd ghosted him overnight. Lucas, a freelance graphic designer with roots in the Bronx and a sketchbook full of vibrant street art, had slid onto the stool next to him and said, "You look like you could use a story that doesn't end in regret." One conversation turned into a night that blurred into dawn, and by morning, Aiden was alive again, raw, exposed, but alive. Lucas saved him, not with grand gestures, but with the quiet persistence of someone who'd fought his own demons. Growing up queer in a tight-knit Puerto Rican family, Lucas had been the artistic one, the outlier who sketched his way out of expectations. His parents had come around eventually, tearful apologies over eras con gandals at family gatherings, but not before he'd learned to armor his heart too. With Aiden, though, he let the walls crumble. Their apartment in Williamsburg was a sanctuary. Exposed brick walls plastered with Lucas's murals of electric blue waves crashing against sunset horizons. A king-sized bed where they'd whisper secrets until the city hummed awake. But Aiden kept the door locked to the world. No hand-holding on the subway, no +1 at firm holiday parties. Lucas became my roommate in every casual mention, a convenient fiction that Aiden sold with the same precision he used in depositions. "It's just business," he'd murmur into Lucas's shoulder after another dodged introduction, the lie tasting like ash. Lucas would nod, eyes shadowed but steady, because he loved Aiden enough to wait. "I'm not going anywhere, Aiden. But someday, you'll see I'm not the monster you're hiding from." Life settled into a rhythm of stolen moments. Mornings began with Lucas's coffee ritual. Strong Puerto Rican roast brewed in a battered French press, steam curling like invitations as he leaned against the counter in nothing but boxer briefs, his curls tousled from sleep. Aiden would steal a kiss, quick and fierce, before shrugging into his suit like donning battle gear. Evenings were theirs, takeout from the halal cart on the corner, binge-watching old Scorsese films on the worn leather couch, Lucas's head in Aiden's lap as fingers traced lazy patterns on his thigh. Yet the cracks were there, widening with every unchecked box on Aiden's mental checklist of normalcy. His sister, Elena, visited from Cleveland every few months, all sharp wit and no-filter questions. "So, when are you bringing a girl home, big bro?" Mom's asking. Aiden would deflect with jokes, the guilt gnawing like termites. At work, the firm's annual gala loomed like a guillotine. This year, it was black tie at the plaza, a glittering affair where partners networked with Wall Street wolves. Aiden's boss, Margaret Voss, a silver-haired powerhouse who'd clawed her way up in the 80s, had cornered him in the elevator. "Harper, you're my protégé. Bring someone impressive. Show 'em you're settling down. Settling down." The words echoed as Aiden stared at his reflection in the bathroom mirror that night. "I ask you." Lucas appeared behind him, chin on his shoulder, arms wrapping around his waist. "You could bring me, you know. I'm pretty impressive." His voice was light, but his eyes held the weight of 8 years unspoken. Aiden turned, cupping Lucas's face. "It's not that simple. Margaret's old school. The clients. They talk." He kissed him then, deep and desperate, pouring apologies into the press of lips. Lucas melted into it, but later, alone in the dark, Aiden heard the soft hitch of breath, Lucas crying into his pillow, silent as sin. The accident shattered the fragile peace 2 weeks before the gala. It was a Friday night, the kind where the city pulsed with promise. Aiden had a late deposition in Midtown, the fluorescent buzz of the conference room dragging into overtime. "Rain check on dinner?" he'd texted Lucas, who replied with a heart emoji and, "Don't work too hard. Mi amor." By 10, Aiden was weaving through sheets of rain on the FDR Drive, wipers slapping futilely against the downpour. His phone buzzed, Lucas calling, but traffic snarled, horns blaring like accusations. He glanced down, just for a second. The semi came out of nowhere, a behemoth sliding on the slick asphalt. Aiden swerved, tires screaming, but the impact was inevitable. A bone-jarring crunch, glass exploding like confetti from hell. The world spun, headlights blurring into streaks, the acrid bite of airbags deploying. Pain bloomed in his chest, sharp and insistent, as the car fishtailed into the guardrail. His last thought, amid the chaos, "Lucas. God, Lucas." Sirens wailed in the distance as consciousness flickered. Paramedics pried the door open, their voices muffled through the roar in his ears. "Sir, can you hear me? What's your name?" "Aiden." "Harper," he gasped, blood trickling warm down his temple. "Emergency contact?" The question hung, a void. In his wallet, the card read, "Elena Harper's sister." But as they loaded him onto the stretcher, rain mingling with tears on his face, Aiden whispered, "Lucas. Tell Lucas." The ER at Mount Sinai was a whirlwind of white coats and beeping monitors. Aiden drifted in and out, morphine dulling the edges of agony. Cracked ribs, a punctured lung, internal bleeding they stabilized just in time. Nurses bustled. Forms were signed in triplicate. "Family?" one asked, clipboard poised. His mind latched onto the lie, automatic as breathing. "Sister." Elena. She's in Ohio. But Elena's phone rang into voicemail, her chipper greeting a cruel echo. Hours ticked by, the clock on the wall mocking him at 2 a.m. Aiden's vision swam, fear coiling tight. He needed Lucas, not the ghost, but the man. The one who'd held him through panic attacks, sketched their future in charcoal on napkins. With trembling fingers, he grabbed the nurse's arm as she passed. Please. Call him. Lucas Rivera. It's in my phone. She nodded, efficient, and vanished. Aiden closed his eyes, the rain outside pattering like impatient fingers. Lucas arrived like a storm breaking. He burst through the ER doors in a soaked hoodie and jeans, curls plastered to his forehead, eyes wild with terror. Aiden, the word tore from him, raw and ragged, as he shoved past a security guard. He found the room, curtained off in the chaos, and collapsed at the bedside, grasping Aiden's hand like it was the only anchor in a drowning world. Oh God! What happened? Lucas's voice cracked, tears carving paths down his cheeks. He brushed damp hair from Aiden's forehead, thumb tracing the bruise blooming purple. Car. Accident. Aiden murmured, voice weak but steadying at the touch. Couldn't reach you. Lucas choked on a sob, leaning in to press his forehead to Aiden's. I'm here. I'm right here, for the first time in years. In this sterile limbo, there were no walls, just them, skin to skin, breath mingling in the dim light. But dawn brought reality crashing back. The door swung open, and Margaret Voss strode in, impeccable in a trench coat, her face a mask of professional concern. She'd gotten the call from the firm admin, who monitored emergencies like a hawk. Aiden, you scared the hell out of us. The partners are already talking contingencies. Aiden's heart stuttered. Lucas straightened, wiping his face, but Margaret's eyes flicked over him, dismissive, praising. And you are? Lucas. His friend. Aiden cut in, the word a knife. Lucas froze, the betrayal flickering in his eyes like a struck match. Margaret nodded, oblivious, launching into updates on the deposition he'd missed. As she droned, Lucas slipped his hand from Aiden's, the absence colder than the foredrip. He stood, murmuring, I'll wait outside. The door clicked shut, a sound like finality. Aiden's chest ached worse than the ribs. What have I done? But the lie was his oldest habit, woven into his bones. He closed his eyes, the rain outside softening to a whisper, and wondered if some secrets were worth the blood they drew. The hospital discharged Aiden after 3 days, a cocktail of painkillers and warnings rattling in his script bag like loose change. Rest. No heavy lifting. Follow up in a week, the doctor said, her voice clipped New York efficient. Lucas drove him home in silence, the Prius slicing through morning traffic, the Hudson River a gray ribbon under overcast skies. Aiden stole glances, Lucas's jaw set, hands tight on the wheel, but every attempt at words died in his throat, choked by the ghost of that interrupted introduction. Williamsburg welcomed them with its familiar grit, brownstones etched with graffiti, the L train rumbling overhead like a mechanical heartbeat. Their building, a converted warehouse with a creaky elevator, smelled of fresh bagels from the corner deli. Inside, the apartment felt smaller, the murals on the walls mocking Aiden with their vibrant freedom, waves crashing free, unapologetic. Lucas helped him to the couch, movements gentle but distant, like handling fragile china. You need anything? Water? Pills? His tone was neutral, the warmth banked behind courtesy. Aiden shook his head, wincing as he settled. Lucas. About the hospital. Don't. Lucas turned from the kitchen, eyes flashing. Just. Don't. Aiden. Not now. He busied himself with tea chamomile, Aiden's favorite, pouring with hands that trembled just enough to spill a drop on the counter. When he handed over the mug, their fingers brushed, and for a heartbeat, the world righted. But Lucas pulled away, sinking into the armchair across the room, the space between them a chasm. The silence stretched, heavy as the pain in Aiden's side. Finally, he broke it. I panicked. Margaret showing up like that. She's the firm's rainmaker. If she knew what? That you're human? That you love someone? Lucas's voice rose, cracking on the last word. He raked a hand through his curls, pacing now, the floorboards groaning under his steps. 8 years, Aiden. 8 goddamn years of being your shadow. I get it, the job, the image, the fear. But in that room, when you needed me most, friend, like I'm the guy who fixes your sink. Aiden's throat tightened. It's not like that. You know it's not. He reached out, but Lucas sidestepped, the rejection a fresh bruise. Then what is it like? Tell me, because I'm tired of guessing. Lucas stopped, back to the window, staring at the fire escape where they'd shared their first kiss, rain-soaked and reckless, under a harvest moon. I saved you. Remember, that night in the bar? You were a ghost. I saw you, really saw you, and I thought, this guy's worth fighting for. But fighting what? Your shame. The word landed like a slap. Shame. Aiden had buried it deep, under layers of ambition and alibis, but it festered still, from his dad's averted eyes to the whispers in law school locker rooms. It's not shame, he lied, softer now. It's protection. For both of us. The firm's world is cutthroat. One whisper, and clients bolt. You deserve better than being collateral. Lucas world, eyes blazing. Better than you? Is that what you think this is? He crossed the room in 2 strides, dropping to his knees before the couch, hands framing Aiden's face. Close. The hurt was visceral, dark circles under those warm brown eyes, lips pressed thin. I don't want better. I want you. All of you. But I can't keep pretending I'm invisible. Aiden's resolve cracked. He pulled Lucas in, their kiss desperate, tasting of salt and chamomile. For a moment, the world narrowed to this, Lucas's weight against him, careful of the bandages, the soft hitch of breath as hands roamed familiar paths. It was absolution and apology, a language they'd perfected in the dark. They made love slowly that afternoon, the rain pattering accompaniment. Lucas's touches were reverent, fingers tracing the fresh scars from surgery, lips mapping the terrain of Aiden's chest like rediscovering home. Aiden whispered promises into sweat-damp skin. I'll fix this. I swear. And in the haze of release, he believed it. But reality intruded with the buzz of Aiden's phone. Elena's name flashed, and guilt twisted anew. He answered, voice strained. Hey, sis, Aid, oh my God, I just heard from your work. Car crash? Are you okay? Her voice was a whirlwind, concern laced with that big sister edge. Yeah, bruised but breathing. Doc say I'll live. He glanced at Lucas, now curled beside him, sketching idly on a notepad, abstract lines that screamed unspoken turmoil. I'm booking a flight. Be there tomorrow. And who's this Lucas guy the nurse mentioned? Emergency contact. Aiden's blood ran cold. Just a friend. From the building. Elena paused. The silence loaded. A friend. Huh? Well, tell him thanks. Sounds like he had your back. She rattled on about flight times, but Aiden barely heard, the lie echoing like a bad verdict. That night, over delivery tie, pad CEW steaming on paper plates, Lucas broached the gala. You still going? With the ribs and all. Aiden poked at his noodles. Postponed it. Told Margaret I'm out for recovery. It was half true. She'd insisted on a low-key dinner instead. Just partners at Delmonico's. Safer that way. Lucas nodded, but his fork stilled. Safer for who? He set it down. Eyes searching. Look, I'm not pushing for a ring or a parade. But maybe. Start small. Tell Elena the truth when she gets here. She's family. Aiden's appetite fled. Elena, fiery, loyal, the one who'd hugged him after Dad's silence, whispering, I got you. But even she didn't know the full story. He'd fed her the single and focused line for years. She's landing at noon. We'll see. We'll see became their refrain. A bandage over the wound. Elena arrived like a force of nature, bursting into the apartment with a rolling suitcase and a bear hug that nearly cracked Aiden's ribs anew. You idiot, she scolded, ruffling his hair. Scaring me like that. She was 40, all curves and confidence. A high school English teacher with a laugh that filled rooms. Lucas hovered in the kitchen, offering coffee with a shy smile. Nice to meet you. I'm Lucas. Elena's eyes lit up, praising. The hero of the hour. Aiden's been singing your praises. Well, mumbling, but close enough. She winked, and Lucas flushed, shooting Aiden a look that mixed gratitude and plea. Over lunch, bagels and lox from Russ and Daughters, Elena grilled them both. So, how'd you two meet? Aiden's terrible at stories. Lucas spun it effortlessly. The bar, the whiskey, the spark. Aiden watched, heart swelling at the ease of it, the way Elena leaned in, captivated. You're good for him, she said later, cornering Lucas while Aiden napped. He lights up around you. Like the old Aid. Before the big city chewed him up. Lucas swallowed, voice low. I try. But it's complicated. Elena glanced at the bedroom door. Uncomplicate it, then. Life's too short for complications. Her words hung as she left for her hotel, promising dinner. That evening, fortified by a nap and ibuprofen, Aiden mustered courage. They sat on the fire escape, city lights twinkling below like fallen stars. Lucas. About Elena. Tonight, dinner. I'll tell her. Lucas's face transformed, hope dawning, tentative. You mean it? Yeah. Aiden pulled him close, the metal railing cool against their backs. No more hiding. Not from her. Dinner at Elena's chosen spot. A cozy Italian in the East Village, candlelit and bustling, felt like a turning point. Chianti flowed, plates of carbonara vanishing amid laughter. Elena regaled them with tales of rowdy teens and her latest disastrous date. But as dessert arrived, tiramisu dusted with cocoa, Aiden's pulse thundered. Sis, he started, fork midway to mouth. There's something about Lucas and me. She arched a brow, amused. Yeah? Spill. He's not just a friend. He's everything. My partner. For 8 years. The words hung, the din of the restaurant fading. Elena's expression shifted, surprise, then softening into a grin that split her face. About damn time you said it out loud. Dummy. She reached across, squeezing his hand, then Lucas's. Welcome to the family. For real. I've been waiting for this. Lucas's eyes glistened, and Aiden felt the weight lift, a balloon ascending. They toasted, glasses clinking like freedom, and for the first time, Aiden introduced Lucas without qualifiers. This is the man who saved my life. Every day. But as they walked home, arms linked under street lamps, Aiden's phone vibrated. Margaret. Dinner rescheduled to tomorrow. Mandatory. Bring your A game. The high soured. One truth told, 1,000 left. The next morning, Elena cornered him over breakfast. Proud of you, Aiden. But don't stop now. That firm's got you twisted up. Lucas deserves the spotlight. He nodded, but doubt crept in. Margaret's world was glass ceilings and backroom deals, where personal life was code for leverage. Still, Elena's flight home was a vow. Change was possible. Yet that night, as Lucas sketched by lamplight, Aiden's resolve wavered. The gala loomed, a siren call of normalcy. Just one more event, he thought, burying deeper. The dinner at Delmonico's was a viper's nest dressed in velvet. Crystal chandeliers cast golden halos over linen-draped tables, the air thick with aged steak and aged egos. Aiden arrived in a crisp Oxford shirt, no tie, ribs still protesting the constriction. Margaret greeting him with a firm clap on the back that nearly buckled him. Harper, looking sharp, considering. Partners are eager to debrief. The table was a who's who, 6 silver foxes in suits, nursing scotches and dissecting the firm's latest win, a hostile takeover of a tech startup. Aiden slid into his seat, nodding through small talk, the painkillers dulling the ache but sharpening his paranoia. Keep it light. Keep it straight. Then the door swung open, and in walked Victor Lang, the firm's wildcard partner. 50-ish, with a shark smile and a reputation for betting interns. Victor was the one who'd mentored Aiden early on, whiskey-fueled pep talks laced with advice on climbing the ladder. Stay single, kid. Attachments are weaknesses. Tonight, he clapped Aiden's shoulder. Too hard. Heard about the wipeout. Tough break. Who's your plus one? The sister. Aiden's stomach nodded. Nah. Flying solo tonight. Victor chuckled, sliding into the seat beside him. Smart man. These things are minefields. As courses arrived, oysters on the half-shell, glistening like forbidden fruit, the conversation turned predatory. Mergers morphed into gossip. Who'd been caught with whose wife, which client had peculiar tastes that required discretion. Aiden laughed along, the sound hollow, but Victor's eyes lingered, probing. You know, Harper, I've always pegged you for the family type. When you gonna settle? Firm needs heirs apparent with roots. The table quieted, expectant. Aiden's fork scraped porcelain. Not rushing it. Career first. Margaret raised her glass. To careers, and the sacrifices that fuel them. The toast rippled, but Aiden's mind raced to Lucas, waiting at home with takeout and a rom-com queued. Roots. The word mocked him. Halfway through the porterhouse, Victor leaned in, breath scotch-soured. Off the record, I got a lead on a client big pharma merger. Needs a closer like you. But it's sensitive. Discretion's key. His wink was loaded, and Aiden's unease spiked. Pharma meant regulations, scandals, rumors of cover-ups that could tank reputations. Count me in, Aiden said, forcing enthusiasm. Victor grinned, clapping his back again. That's my boy. The night dragged, toasts blurring into after-dinner cigars on the balcony overlooking Wall Street's neon veins. Aiden stepped out for air, the city wind whipping his collar. His phone buzzed. Lucas. How's the lion's den? Miss you. A photo followed, him in their bed, shirtless, holding a sketch of Aiden as a knight slaying dragons. Heart swelling, Aiden typed back, surviving. Home soon. Love you. He hit send, then deleted the thread. Habit. Automatic. Victor appeared, lighting a Cuban. Deep thoughts. Harper. Just. Reflecting. Aiden pocketed the phone. Good. Reflections for the week. Actions what closes. Victor exhaled smoke, eyes narrowing. Heard you had a friend at the hospital. Roommate, right? Lucas something? Aiden's blood iced. Yeah. Building buddy. Helped out. Victor nodded. Slow. Handy to have those. But watch it. Rumors fly in this town. The warning hung, casual as the smoke curling skyward. By the time Aiden escaped, it was midnight, the subway a rattling confessional. Home was sanctuary. Lucas dozing on the couch, TV flickering with When Harry Met Sally. Aiden knelt, kissing his temple. Hey, hero. Lucas stirred, smiling sleepily. Verdict. Same old sharks. Aiden omitted Victor, the probe. Instead, he pulled Lucas up, leading him to bed. Their lovemaking was urgent, a reclaiming bodies entwining like vines breaking stone. Afterward, tangled in sheets, Aiden confessed Elena's acceptance, the dinner's warmth. It felt right. Telling her, Lucas traced his collarbone. Then tell them. The sharks. Before they smell blood. Aiden tensed. It's different. Business isn't family. Isn't it? Lucas propped on an elbow. I serious. You're building a life with them. Half a life. The words lingered as sleep claimed them. But dawn brought a curveball. Aiden's follow-up appointment revealed complications. The lung puncture had led to a small infection, antibiotics prescribed, but monitoring required. Stress it, Mr. Harper, the doc warned. Your body's signaling burnout. Burnout. The word echoed as Aiden returned to the firm. Lighter duties but heavier stares. Margaret pulled him aside. Victor's singing your praises for the pharma gig. But tread light, clients paranoid about leaks. Leaks. Aiden dove in, poring over NDAs in his office. The skyline a distracting blur. Lucas texted encouragements, you've got this, Dragon Slayer, but guilt simmered. That evening, Victor cornered him in the break room. Harper, level with me. That hospital thing, your roommate. He seemed close. Aiden's coffee burned his tongue. What are you getting at? Victor shrugged. Predatory casual. Nothing. Just firm's image. You know how it is. He clapped Aiden's shoulder, third time, and sauntered out. Paranoia bloomed. Was Victor fishing? Spreading whispers? Aiden's mind spun worst cases. Clients pulling out. Margaret's disappointment. The corner office evaporating. He confided in Lucas over dinner. Paya Lucas had whipped up, saffron-scented and comforting. Victor's sniffing around. Like he knows. Lucas set down his fork, face hardening. Then shut it down. Tell him the truth. Or I will. You can't. Why not? Lucas's voice rose, chairs scraping as he stood. I'm tired of being the dirty secret. If your job can't handle us, maybe it's not worth it. The fight escalated, words flying like shrapnel. You don't get it, Aiden shouted, ribs throbbing. This is my life, everything I've built. And I'm what? The side hustle. Lucas's eyes blazed, tears unshed. I saved you from drowning, but you're still scared of the water. He stormed out, door slamming, leaving Aiden in the wreckage of half-eaten rice and regret. Hours later, Lucas returned, soaked from a walk in the drizzle, collapsing into Aiden's arms. I'm sorry. I need all of you. They reconciled in whispers, but the seed was planted, truth as a ticking bomb. Weeks blurred, work intensifying. The pharma deal a labyrinth of redacted emails and midnight calls. Aiden's health teetered. Fever spiked. Forcing sick days he masked as strategy time. Lucas hovered, sketching fever dreams into art. Nightmares of Aiden chained in suits. Lucas a shadow beyond bars. Then Elena called, voice tight. Aid. Mom's sick. Bad. Ovarian cancer. Stage 3. She wants you home. Now, the world tilted again. Mom, stoic, church-going, the one who'd baked pies in silence after Dad's rejection. Aiden booked a flight to Cleveland, Lucas insisting on coming. Family, right? All in. The flight was turbulent, mirroring Aiden's gut. At the airport, Elena hugged them fierce. Good you're both here, but Mom's eyes, dulled by chemo in the hospital bed, widened at Lucas. Who's this? Aiden swallowed. Mom. This is Lucas. My partner. Silence. Then a weak smile. About time. Son. Her hand, frail, squeezed his. In that room, beeping monitors a counterpoint, Aiden unraveled, sobbing into Lucas's shoulder as Mom watched, forgiving without words. But Victor's text arrived mid-visit. Pharma's heating up. Need you back ASAP. Discretion on the family emergency. The subtext screamed, we know. Back in New York. The pressure cooker boiled over. Aiden pushed through meetings, sweat beading despite the AC. One night, collapsing home, he found Lucas packing. What the? I can't do half measures anymore, Lucas said, voice steady but eyes shattered. Tell them, or I'm gone. Aiden begged, pleaded, give me time, but Lucas left for his sisters in the Bronx, duffel slung over shoulder. Alone, Aiden spiraled, the apartment echoing with ghosts. The crisis peaked at a client dinner, pharma execs, Victor presiding. Aiden arrived late, feverish, vision spotting. Midway through appetizers, pain lanced his chest, searing, unrelenting. He gasped, clutching the tablecloth, plates crashing. Harper, Victor barked, as the room spun. Aiden's phone tumbled out, Lucas's photo as wallpaper. In the blur, he croaked, call. Lucas. Ambulance lights flashed, Victor's face paling as paramedics swarmed. En route, Aiden faded. One thought, don't let me die hiding. The second hospitalization was a descent into hell's waiting room. Bellevues are swallowed Aiden whole. IVs snaking like vines, monitors beeping a frantic Morse code. The infection had ravaged, pneumonia setting in, his body a battlefield of fever and fatigue. Doctors murmured, septic shock, a phrase that clanged like a gavel. We need next of kin, one said, chart in hand. Lucas Rivera, Aiden rasped, throat raw from intubation threats. Call him, they did, and Lucas materialized like a prayer answered, disheveled from the Bronx, eyes red-rimmed but fierce. He bullied past triage, clutching Aiden's hand as if it were the last thread. You stubborn bastard, he whispered, voice breaking. Don't you dare leave me half-loved. Through the haze, Aiden clung, fingers interlaced, Lucas's voice a lifeline reciting bodega stories, silly sketches, their first disastrous road trip to the Finger Lakes. Family arrived in waves. Elena from Cleveland, mom frail but determined via video call. Fight, me Joe, she urged, her accent thick with love. But Victor crashed the party uninvited. He strode in day 3, bouquet of lilies in hand, funereal, unwitting. Harper, Jesus. We heard at the firm. His eyes flicked to Lucas, then the chart. Roommate again? Lucas stiffened beside the bed, but Aiden, propped on pillows, found steel. No. Partner. 8 years. Victor's smile faltered, a crack in the facade. Partner? As in, love, Aiden said, the word a exhale. The man who saved me. Twice now. Silence. Thick. Victor shifted, lilies wilting in his grip. Look, kid, this complicates things. The pharma deal, client's conservative. Leaks could. Leaks. Lucas's voice was ice. Like the ones you're starting? Victor's jaw tightened. I was looking out for him. Firm first. Aiden's laugh was weak but cutting. Firm first got me here. Hiding. Lying. Done. Margaret arrived then, summoned by Victor's frantic call, poised, assessing. She took in the scene. Aiden pale but defiant, Lucas unyielding, the air charged. Explain, she commanded, perching on the windowsill. Aiden did haltingly, the full confession spilling like floodwaters. College shame, the bar rescue, years of shadows. I thought it protected us. But it was cowardice. Lucas deserves better. And so do I. Margaret listened, expression unreadable. Victor interjected. Margaret, this is a liability. Clients talk. She silenced him with a look. Victor, you've been talking for weeks. Stirring pots. Her gaze softened on Aiden. Kid, you're the best we've got. But talent without truth is hollow. We've evolved since my days, hell. I have a nephew in a pride parade every June. She glanced at Lucas. You, graphic designer? He nodded, wary. Could use some rebranding at the firm. Fresh eyes. It was an olive branch. Tentative. Victor sputtered. But the deal. We'll close without your meddling, Margaret snapped. Aiden, rest. We'll talk contingencies when you're out. She left, Victor trailing like a scolded dog. The room exhaled. Lucas sank into the chair, head in hands. You did it. Finally, Aiden reached for him. Had to. For us. But betrayal's shadow lingered. That night, as Lucas dozed, Aiden's phone lit with anonymous texts. Ferry in the firm? Clients bailing. Victor says you're done. Panic clawed, had Victor leaked? Poisoned the well? Morning brought Elena, bearing contraband donuts. Spill. What happened with the shark squad? Aiden recounted, voice weary. She hugged him fierce. Proud. Mom too. She's already planning a visit. Rainbow flag and all. Lucas grinned, but Aiden's eyes darkened. Texts. Threats. Victor's payback. Elena's face hardened. Confront him, or I will with a cleaver. Discharge came day 5. A wheelchair parade to the cab. Home was tentative peace. Lucas fussing with broth. Aiden sketching recovery plans. But work loomed. Margaret's email. Meeting tomorrow. Pharma update. Bring your partner. The meeting was boardroom Armageddon. Aiden and Lucas entered hand in hand. The firm's glass walls a fishbowl. Partners stared, whispers dying as Margaret called order. Aiden's back. And introducing Lucas Rivera, his better half and potential collaborator. Victor sneered from the corner, but the room shifted. The pharma lead, quiet nod. Eyes on Lucas's portfolio. Aiden had emailed ahead, bold designs that screamed integrity. Impressive, the client said. We need that vibe. Transparency in turbulent times. Victor interjected, oily. With respect. Personal matters aside. With respect, Margaret cut. Your matters nearly cost us our closer. Step back, Victor. Or step out. The deal closed that week. Aiden's signature steady. Lucas's mock-ups sealing visuals. Celebrations were low-key. Firm drinks where colleagues clapped Aiden's back. Awkward but genuine. Never knew, one said. Happy for you, man. But Victor's venom festered. Late one night, Aiden found the leak source. An email chain. Victor forwarding Aiden's hospital photo, Lucas at bedside, to a rival firm crony. Handle with care. Loose cannon. Rage boiled. Aiden confronted him in the parking garage. Rain slicking the concrete. You son of a bitch. Trying to bury me? Victor smirked. Umbrella popping. Protecting the firm. You think love wins deals? Wake up, Harper. It does, Aiden snarled. More than your poison. He forwarded the chain to Margaret. Resignation drafted, but held. Betrayal cut deepest from within, but it forged resolve. Lucas, sensing the storm, pulled Aiden to the rooftop that night. Brooklyn bridge lights danced on the East River. Whatever comes, we face it. They kissed under stars smudged by city glow. Aiden whispering, no more half-lives. Yet crisis deepened. Mom's cancer spread, a call shattering the fragile calm. Come home, Elena begged. Aiden and Lucas flew to Cleveland. The Harper house a shrine of faded photos and medical beeps. Mom, balled under a scarf, gripped their hands. My boys, she murmured, eyes bright. Love like yours. It's the real fight. She passed peacefully 2 weeks later. Surrounded by love, Elena's stories, Aiden's tears, Lucas's sketch of her as a warrior queen, framed bedside. The funeral was a blur. Eulogies, casseroles, Dad's silent nod from the pew. Acceptance, belated but there. Back in New York, grief hollowed them. Aiden tendered notice. Time for new chapters. Margaret's counteroffer warm but firm. We want you both. On your terms. Victor was ousted quietly, his discretion a euphemism for exit package. The firm rebranded, diversity panels, pride flags in lobby. But loss lingered, quiet ache. One evening, Aiden found Lucas on the fire escape, sketching Mom's portrait. She'd have loved you forever, Aiden said, joining him. She did. Lucas leaned in. And you? Forever. More. Their foreheads touched. The city a symphony below. Healing was nonlinear, therapy sessions unpacking shame, date nights reclaiming streets hand in hand. Aiden launched a consultancy, Lucas's designs at core, Harper Rivera Partners, equality in ink. The real climax came months later, at the firm's Pride Mixer, Aiden on stage, mic in hand. Years ago, I hid the man who saved me. Fear's a thief. But love, it's the verdict that sets you free. Lucas beside him. Cheers erupted. Victor's ghost? Forgotten. A year after the accident, New York bloomed defiant. Cherry blossoms rioting pink along the High Line. A middle finger to winter's grip. Aiden's consultancy thrived in a loft space in Soho. Exposed beams and whiteboards scrawled with visions of justice. Pro bono cases for queer youth. Corporate trainings on allyship. Lucas's murals adorned the walls. Vibrant tapestries of intertwined figures. Shadows yielding to light. Clients came for the expertise. Stayed for the authenticity. You two are the real deal, one exec said, signing a contract over craft IPAs. No smoke, just fire. Life wasn't flawless. Aiden's lungs bore scars. Checkups a ritual of measured breaths. Grief for Mom ebbed in waves. Elena's visits a buoy. Her new boyfriend a gentle accountant who grilled with surprising flair. Dad called sporadically. Gruff updates on the garden. Silences pregnant with unsaid I'm trying. Progress. Aiden called it. Forgiving in doses. With Lucas, intimacy deepened. Mornings tangled in sunlight. Evenings on the couch dissecting The Godfather for the umpteenth time. You're my Michael, Lucas teased once, tracing Aiden's jaw. But without the tragedy. Yet, Aiden quipped, pulling him closer. Their love was lived loud now. Brunches in the village with rainbow flags fluttering. Weekend hikes in the Palisades where hands swung free. No more ghosts. The true test came unbidden. A class action suit against a pharma giant. Echoes of Victor's old deal. Aiden's firm led, exposing cover-ups on experimental drugs that preyed on vulnerable communities, including queer folks denied trials. Late nights blurred into dawn. Aiden poring over depositions. Lucas designing infographics that cut like scalpels. Stress mounted. Aiden's old foe, panic, crept back. Nights waking sweat-soaked, convinced it was all crumbling. What if we lose? He'd murmur into Lucas's chest, heart hammering. Then we fight again, Lucas soothed, fingers combing curls from Aiden's brow. Like always, the trial was a spectacle. Manhattan courtroom packed, reporters sketching caricatures. Aiden testified, voice steady. These companies hid truths to protect profits. But secrets kill. I know, I've lived them. The jury, diverse faces etched with empathy, deliberated 2 days. Verdict, guilty, settlements pouring like rain. Cheers echoed post-trial, team hugs, champagne toasts in a dive bar off Chambers. Elena flew in, toasting with tequila shots. To my brother, the closer of cases and closets. Later, alone on the rooftop of their new place, a top-floor walk-up with views to the harbor, Aiden and Lucas watched fireworks for no reason but joy. "Remember the accident?" Aiden asked, arm around Lucas's waist. "How could I forget? Thought I'd lost you. You saved me." Again, Aiden turned, cupping Lucas's face. The city sprawled below, a mosaic of lights, flawed, fierce, alive. "Marry me," Lucas's breath caught, eyes wide. "Aid, not hiding anymore. I want forever." Rings, vows, the works, tears spilled, joyful. Yes. God, yes. The wedding was quintessentially them. A rooftop affair in summer haze, string lights twinkling like confessions. 50 guests, firm allies, Bronx cousins dancing salsa, Elena officiating with body jokes. Dad stood at the back, suit starched, nodding approval as Aiden and Lucas exchanged rings, simple platinum bands etched with waves. "I vow to see you. Always," Aiden said, voice thick. "No shadows. And I vow to pull you into the light," Lucas replied, grin radiant. They kissed to cheers, the skyline applauding. Years folded forward. The consultancy grew. Chapters in books. Aiden's memoir. Out of the Closet. A Lawyer's Reckoning. A quiet bestseller. Lucas's art shows sold out. Murals commissioned for city halls. They adopted a rescue mutt, Max, who snored like a freight train and chased pigeons in Prospect Park. Crises came, Elena's divorce, a firm's rough patch, but they weathered, rooted now. One autumn eve, leaves carpeting Central Park, Aiden proposed a toast with hot cider. "To the man who forced my hand." "And my heart," Lucas clinked mugs. To crises that birth truths. In quiet moments, Aiden reflected. Hiding had been survival, but living, that was the revelation. America, flawed, sprawling, had room for them, scars and all. And in each other's arms, under stars or streetlights, they were whole. Saved, not by perfection, but by persistence. Love's verdict, not guilty.